Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Pick a Card reading. I would like for you to take a few moments and take a couple deep breaths. You can even close your eyes if you'd like and then reopen them and pick whichever pile or whichever rock, stone that you feel drawn to. The timestamps will either be in the description or the comments for the piles, and we'll get at it. I'll let you know. Little heads up. There is, some of them are short, some of them are long this week. Some are to the point, some are pretty blunt and a little harsh, but they are what they are. Yeah, let's get into it. Hello, group number one. Welcome to your reading. I actually am re-recording this reading because, anyways, doesn't matter why. I'm just re-recording this reading. So it's going to probably be a little shorter than the rest because, I already know what everything says here and what it's about. Unless there might be some new messages that come up while I'm recording from Spirit as well. So you have co-create with Spirit, live life to the fullest, and evolution. This evolution card, for me personally, talks about you're at a point where you've overcome a lot. Your life is changing a lot, but it's for the better. It's for your best good. That's where the word evolving. It's not changed, but you're constantly evolving. But it's definitely been about like overcoming different problems. You have flourished amongst some of the challenges that you have faced, and you're going to continue to do so, kind of thing. So the next card I want to talk about here is the Eight of Pentacles, which for me, it talks a lot about hard work, determination, studying, but when I was reading it, I kept being told, like, you don't have to overwork yourself to the point of burnout, and that's why it's kind of flipped upside down, because it's saying, like, you need to slow down a little bit. You do put in a lot of hard work, but it needs to slow down just a tiny bit. You can't do every single thing, and you don't want to burn yourself out. You may have also been in a situation recently or are currently wondering if all the hard work that you have put in is going to pay off. And this here definitely says it's going to, because you have the Judgment, which talks about, like, being rewarded for your efforts, or in the situation where maybe you're doing something that's not so good, receiving your justice for what you're kind of, whether it was good or bad, in my opinion, but this is a reward in this situation for that hard work that you've put in. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which is talking about success. It can also talk about important gifts and things like that. But new adventures with career, things along those lines. So it almost could feel like you might be coming into receiving some kind of little wage increase, or maybe a promotion, or just that all this hard work is going to start to pay off in some way for you that you were not expecting, but maybe that you were hoping for. So the Three of Wands also talks about completion and progress. I feel like where it's reversed, you're feeling like this progress is not coming in as quickly as you would have liked, because you have put in the work, and you're like, well, by now I should have received that raise, or I should be doing better than I am. This is saying that you are still going to get there. It's coming slower than you need to slow down a little bit. It's coming. It's divinely, timed kind of thing. So then we come down here, which this part here is talking more about relationships. This is talking about stuff to do with your past. The Six of Cups can talk about, like, different people from your past coming back. However, in this reading, I feel like it's going to be more of a conversation that's going to come up with someone about something from your past. Something that you're going to find yourself having to defend yourself about. But it's something that you are so strongly set in that you have that, like, very much knowing of, no, this is how it is. You may think it's this way, or that might be the stories you've been told, but this is actually how it is. So, for example, say someone got in a fight with someone, and the first person thinks that that you're not talking to them because of this particular fight, but maybe this person had been doing something else, and that fight was just the straw that broke the back, kind of thing. But in reality, it's all this other stuff, and you're explaining, like, hey, no, I'm not talking to them because of that one silly thing. Like, that's just what pushed me to the end, kind of thing. That's just one example. It could be many different things that comes up, but it's gonna be like some conversation from the past where you're defending yourself. And where because the Ace of Wands typically talks about, like, new adventures and stuff. So where that's in reverse, it's almost, that's what made me feel like this past thing was like rehashing something from the past over and over, and you're defending yourself. But in the end, it's like you have the Ten of Cups here, which talks about, contentment and commitment and things along those lines. So it's like saying, like, oh, this is only something small and it's going to pass so quickly and easily. You may not even consider it a big event, but to the person that you're talking to, it may bring them clarification on something that they've been, like, really trying to rack their brain around, that's from the past, and that maybe has bothered them. And maybe just by you saying how it is, it's going to bring them clarification and contentment as well. So then you also have here it's a little pigeon, and if you look, it's looking at itself in the mirror. So the first meaning behind this for me is the pigeon. It talks about, like, peace and love a lot of times and things like that. They're gentle, kind creatures. So I think that's telling you here, like, you need to be a little more gentle with yourself, a little more kind to yourself. I think that this here is going to come up as a reflection for you to reflect back and see how far you've come as well. Like, you're going to see your hard work paying off, but you're also going to see how far you've come in life. There might be, for some people, and I think this is going to be very few of the people who watch this reading, but there might be something within yourself that you're really needing to forgive yourself for. You need to look in that mirror and realize that, and it might be something that you weren't even at fault for. Like, you need to forgive yourself because you're not the reason behind it. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like there's no reason you should have been judging yourself in the first place, kind of thing. But for some reason you have been. And that forgiveness, you need to have that forgiveness for yourself to move forward. And maybe this conversation is going to be what brings that up for you. Now, just going to, I feel like I need to pull another card, but I'm not sure from which deck to pull it from. Let's see what I'm feeling. Let's see what I'm feeling here. No. I'm just seeing, yeah, we'll pull another one from this deck here. Any last little messages for the people in group 1 or clarifications on any of this? Oh, I'm not taking that many cards. Just 1 or 2 is fine. Not half the deck. These 2. So we have gratitude, being grateful for what you have. And I think that's more along the lines of being grateful for where you're at, that you've come as far as you have, is how I'm taking that. Because even in this one here, if you look closely, like you have the little picture of like reflecting on the old times. So I think of this as more of like a be grateful. Sorry, that's off camera so bad, but like the more of the be grateful of where you've come from and where you've gotten kind of thing, then, which at the same time is to be grateful for what you have. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that. I know this was a pretty quick reading for this group this time, but you know, the main message is your hard work is being seen. It will pay off. You're probably overworking just a little bit too much. Follow your intuition a little more, and this little situation that's going to come up is just a little situation, and by it coming up, it's going to be good for both parties involved. Hello, group 2. This is your second week of October pick a card reading. It's really strange. I was starting to pull out your cards because I like to pull all the cards in advance for people's readings, because sometimes some of these cards I have to put, like this is from group 3, I have to put washi tape over top of certain aspects of it to be posted without, worrying about getting anything up. But I was told when I started to do this, I kept hearing no, I shuffle during the read for this one. And I will shuffle though off screen when I'm doing it, because if there is a card like that, I will need to put, like I said, a piece of tape or something over it to be able to make sure that it's safe for YouTube. So we'll just start with what you have down here. So we have the sound of the universe. And I've had this deck for a little while now. I don't use it a whole lot, but I have no idea what this one actually is. But I feel like it's going to all tie in. You also have illusions, embrace the truth. You have tend to the small things. And then you have this beautiful card. And I think it feels like my normal meaning for this card is not the same meaning as what it is going to be in this reading. It feels to me like you are someone who is a very hard worker, and there's some little tiny detail that's being overlooked. When you see it, it's going to be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot that kind of thing. Or there's some little, I'm going to say little, some kind of white lie you've been telling around this whole situation that You don't need to be telling. You can just be honest. Sometimes it's better, most times it's better to be honest than to lie. Yeah, it may make you feel uncomfortable, but in the end, it's going to cause less issues if you're honest. Tend to the small things. I want to take a look at this card before I actually start shuffling my deck I have here, because the sound of the universe, number 51. Oh, for anyone that's wondering, this deck is called Beyond the Mary, I think is how it's pronounced. The write-ups are really long. I just look at the basic little information to see if I am on the right path with what I'm looking at. So I'm going to actually just read this little meaning on this one. It says, having your world shaken up even a little can invite a deeper glimpse of the great mysteries of your life. There's a myriad of ways to peek behind the veil of the mundane world. Ecstatic dance, spiritual exploration, and intuitive creative pursuits are just a few. Aim to naturally embed this awareness in your everyday existence so that you can avoid a sudden wake-up call. Wake up to the hidden music, the harmony, and wonder of your multidimensional world. Wake up to the hidden music, illusions. So there's something that you're looking at from the wrong perspective, in my opinion. I like how they included dance in that as well because of the... Let's see. So what is group 2? What is it that they have this illusion around? I may pause at some points because I don't want this one to end up being like an hour long. Group 2. Strength. Illusion around something new you're doing. Pentacles a lot of times talks about career. It can also talk about your material possessions, things along those lines. Is there some kind of item, thing? I'm hearing property? Something that you have some kind of unrealistic expectation around. You definitely have the strength, but you're gonna need it for whatever this is. It's going to be like, I don't know, when we look at anything within ourselves that's not exactly, isn't the way that we like, or that, is a fault, it can be really hard to do. And it does take strength and courage to actually face those things about ourselves. I don't know. I feel like maybe let's grab this deck. I might use a mixture of a bunch of decks here. Seven of Cups. Are you the type of person who, you know, wants the cake, eat the whole cake to yourself kind of thing? That's the kind of the feeling I'm getting. You don't want to choose. You want it all. I'm getting, but I deserve, that's because I deserve it all. No, you're no more special than anyone else. Everybody's special. Everybody gets a little piece of everything. Whatever this situation is anyways. I'm not saying, oh, well, you gotta give a piece of it, everything away to someone. What I'm saying is, you definitely have some kind of unrealistic expectation around something you're either not wanting to share with someone else, something you're feeling you deserve the whole thing around. And it's not going to go anywhere if you continue to stay that way. You're going to be made to face the truths. You're going to be made to face... I wouldn't be surprised if during this reading a Tower card does come out somewhere. And that's basically a Tower card, depending on how it falls. Yeah, this is around finances of some sort. Needing to balance finances. Career, something physical, like I said. What can group 2... daydreaming. Lots and lots of daydreaming. Focusing on the whole great big thing instead of what you already have. If you give a little, you'll receive more than you realize. But don't give with the expectation of receiving. This is a really different energy than I'm used to. Tend to the small things. Tend to the small things. What are the small things they can tend to that make this situation better or easier for them to loosen up and Are you someone who is watching this video with a partner who basically convinced you to watch this video? To pick a pile for yourself and watch? Or this is not your normal type of thing and you're like, ugh, because I'm hearing like profanities. I'm like, I didn't want to watch this thing in the first place and blah, blah, blah. Like that kind of thing going on here. If you're still even here watching at this point. Wow. Yeah, if you do this, if you stop hiding, you put in the work, you're a hard worker. So if you start to be more honest, you start to embrace these truths, you start to give a little and take a little, be a little more balanced, you're gonna see so much happiness and success from this. You really truly are. People don't, they not, they really don't get upset with small things, as small of things. Even some big things. Most people would prefer the truth any day over a lie. I keep hearing that in my head. Quit the lying or white lying, fibbing, whatever word terminology, stretching the truth, whatever terminology it is that you would use for what you're doing, and just start being honest. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck because it's a hit to your pride. But quit it. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna make your life and everyone else's life better. But I'm also gonna say, if you are someone who's watching this because you're being forced to watch it, tell whoever made you watch it that they shouldn't be forcing people to do things they don't want to do. The way I feel is I only want people watching if they are actually interested in it and want genuine information. And to me, this feels like whoever picks this group feels like someone who they're either super, super freaking skeptical and they don't really want the information. They're just watching it like it's almost like, ugh, I have to do this. Or you're someone who your partner's been like nagging you at, oh, you should try one. That kind of thing. Or maybe it's just what this particular topic is for you, something that you really don't want to face. But I'm here to tell you that you need to face it, and if you face it, it's not going to be near as bad as you think it's going to be. A little tiny bit of humbling never hurt anyone. It doesn't make you a bad person to make a mistake. It doesn't make you a bad person to not be perfect. You're not going to look any less strong by admitting to this or whatever the situation is. Being honest about it. I keep hearing honesty. And it's like it's something that's so small and silly to most people that they would have no problem. But for some reason, it's like, it feels to me like this, almost like a kid kind of feeling of, if a kid took a candy that they weren't supposed to take and they don't want it, they're so worried that they're going to be looked at as bad because of it. Whereas what's really going to happen is the person's going to say, you shouldn't have done that kind of thing. In most circumstances, they're going to say, you shouldn't have done that. In the future, please do this. Or why did you do that? Can you explain to me? They're not going to, in most situations, they're not going to do anything extreme or like snap and freak out. You're probably someone who does have, because it feels like it to me, you're someone who probably has a bit of childhood trauma that maybe you had those situations happen where if you told the truth about something, it was like, rawr. That's not how it is with most people. It can happen, but most people are not that way. And you're an adult and you can walk away from a situation if someone does do that. It is better to be honest in the end. I'm going to end it at this for group 2. I know it seems like I'm kind of cutting it off, but I know you guys don't want to hear any more at the moment. If this did resonate with you and you would like to follow or give a thumbs up, that would be great. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic week and take care of yourself. Hello, group 3. So let's take a look at your cards we have here today. So you have healing, friendship, be gentle of touch, opportunity knocks, and you have this card. So we're going to start with this one. This one here, for me, represents somebody who had something happen to them at some point in time, and they put up their walls, they boarded up their windows, they isolated themselves. But the vines that are growing on it is like saying that this happened a long time ago. And it's like whatever this old situation was is still affecting you to this day. But it's time for you to come out, clean off all those vines, open up those windows and let some light come in. And, you know, it goes right along with the healing. It just feels to me like, you know, this healing, it needs to come from this old situation. It's like maybe there's some questions you have in your head around this old thing that happened that you need to take a different perspective on and see, you know, whether it's really an issue that's going to keep reoccurring or not. It seems like it was somebody maybe who really hurt you in some way, shape, or form. But you're gonna get there. Like, these cards overall look like really good cards. You have, you know, the Nine of Pentacles, which talks about success and achievement, celebration, contentment. You also have here the friendship, nurture your relationships. Has there been relationships that you haven't been nurturing, maybe back because of this hurt thing? Because if you start nurturing them, you're going to see those rewards. Be careful about obsessing over the past stuff or obsessing over numbers or the little things that people do, because this card talks a lot about obsessions, and it seems to me with the other cards that are here, it's probably over something along those lines. But, you know, you have new opportunities coming. You have a different perspective going to be coming in with this hangman here. It may even feel like you need to have a little bit of like a self-sacrifice in order to be able to do this, to nurture these friendships. But just pause and reflect before you react to something small. Because maybe it's just a trigger within yourself that is not as big of a deal as it feels to you. And I'm not saying that it's not a big deal at all, but just that it might be something that you're making like a mountain out of a molehill kind of thing. And you have the deer spirit here, being gentle, bring a gentle touch. So it feels to me like you're very quick to cut off people at the first teeny sign. You run back inside kind of thing. But you get opportunity knocks, go for it. So that there to me tells me that you have something new coming up for sure. I think it's going to be around friendships by what's showing here, and it's going to help with your healing. You may even be helping healing someone else at the same time, because you have the Sun card, which talks about, happiness, health, success, achievement, that kind of thing, newfound inspiration. You do have the King of Swords, and that can be talking about like natural leaders. It can talk about someone who's too controlling. So that is something as well. But I feel like in this situation, the controlling person is you. And it's not that you want to control, it's that you want to control, like the other person is that you're wanting to control the potential of you being hurt again. But this person's not going to be causing you hurt. Don't be too stubborn, because there's definitely more than meets the eye. Be gentle about this. There might be little things. Everyone has disagreements or arguments, friends, family, everybody. But it's how you handle them, and don't be closed off. Don't be completely closed off. Don't isolate. Because I think if you're gonna start having some things come through to you, you're a highly intuitive person. Um, you're ambitious, and so are they. It's almost like you're both you and your friend are both such ambitious people. It almost becomes like a competition sometimes, and it doesn't need to be competition. It's okay to be a nurturing person. It's okay to, have empathy for someone else as well as empathy for yourself. Um, but the biggest thing is going to be learning to, slowly clear off those vines and open up that window. You've been shut in, at least on the friendship side of things, for quite some time, isolating. Because, like, the sign card here is one of the happiest things. You get opportunity knocks. Nurture your friendship, but be gentle with everything. And these cards all reflect basically the exact same thing this is saying here. I guess that's going to be your message for the week. Like, I'm not hearing a whole lot extra, and I'm being told that that's all you need to hear. I know this is a little bit short, but if you enjoyed this reading, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up, and I would absolutely love it if you subscribed. Leave a comment if you feel so inclined, and I hope you have a good day. Bye, Group 3.